Israel is at war. We didn't want this war.
Attention, history lovers and the curious about the past. Welcome once again to another intriguing chapter of Time Tale Theater. Hamas's attack in Israel was devastating and took the world by surprise, especially the country that believed it had one of the world's most powerful armies and renowned intelligence services. Hamas militants and other radical Palestinian factions carried out an assault in several cities in southern Israel, resulting in a toll of over 1,000 casualties on the first day, including civilians and military personnel. Even a week after the attack, Israeli forces had not fully secured the territory. But how did Hamas manage to execute such an audacious operation? The following is a reconstruction of the events based on numerous videos, some of them edited by Hamas or Israel, as well as satellite images and testimonies from internal sources of the Palestinian group that have been shared with the press. The attack was unleashed at dawn. Firstly, the Palestinian militias directed their attacks toward the Israeli observation towers and communication systems located in the area closest to the Gaza border. In several videos broadcast on Sunday, a day after the attack, by Al-Aqsa Television, affiliated with Hamas, you can see how the militias used commercial drones to launch explosives on these crucial military targets, rendering them useless. This marked the beginning of the second phase of the plan. Around 6:30 in the morning, Hamas carried out an intense rocket barrage from the Gaza Strip towards virtually the entire Israeli territory, reaching cities as distant from Gaza as Tel Aviv, Rehovot, Gedera, Ashkelon, and Jerusalem. Initially, Hamas claimed to have fired more than 5,000 rockets, in contrast to the 2,500 figure reported by Israel. The strategy of launching a large number of rockets in a short period of time, aiming to overwhelm and find weaknesses in the Iron Dome anti-aircraft defense system, was a tactic commonly used by Hamas. What was novel this time was that this rocket fire sought to provide cover for the infiltration of hundreds of militants into Israel. The rocket attack served as a distraction for an unprecedented infiltration of fighters into Israeli territory. As verified in videos, some of these fighters used delta wing systems to overcome the barrier surrounding Gaza. This barrier consists of segments of electrified fence, concrete walls, sensors, and surveillance towers. Once the delta wing fighters landed on the other side, they secured the area with their weapons, allowing an elite unit of Hamas's military arm, known as the Ezzedine al-Qassam Brigades, to breach the barrier using a large amount of explosives. Both videos shared by the Islamist group and by Israel show that Hamas militants managed to breach the barrier at several points, allowing hundreds of fighters to enter Israel, some on motorcycles, trucks, or on foot. The holes created by the explosions were subsequently widened with construction machinery, such as bulldozers. By 7:40 in the morning, Israel confirmed that an infiltration had occurred. By that time, the fighters had already advanced several kilometers into Israeli territory. Hamas militants deployed from Gaza in various directions, attacking Israeli army posts along the border and nearby towns. According to Israeli authorities, they have evidence that they attacked at least 27 localities. The farthest point reached by Hamas was the city of Ofakim, located 22.5 kilometers east of Gaza. However, this assault was not chaotic. Instead, it was meticulously planned. One key factor in this operation was the surprising lack of intelligence by Israel. According to internal Hamas sources cited by Reuters, the Palestinian organization had been actively trying to deceive Israeli intelligence services for months. They had publicly given the impression that they had no intention of resuming large-scale violence but rather addressing the economic crisis in Gaza. Hamas used unprecedented intelligence tactics to mislead Israel in recent months, giving the impression that it had no intention of entering into a conflict while preparing for this large-scale operation. The source told Reuters. A notable element of their preparation included the construction of a replica of an Israeli settlement in Gaza, which they used to train how to carry out an assault. These maneuvers were recorded on video and shared on Hamas communication channels. In this way, when the militants, some of them even barefoot, and others dressed similarly to the uniform of the Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, moved, whether by driving or running long stretches, to attack military posts with little protection. They were well prepared. According to the Israeli Army's admission, by 10 a.m., Palestinian fighters had managed to infiltrate at least 3 military installations near the border: the Beit Hanoun border crossing, the Zikim base, and the Gaza Division headquarters in Reem. In the latter place, the attacking group disrupted the headquarters communications, preventing personnel from calling their commanders. In Nahal-Oz, the militants used a commercial drone to launch an explosive at Israeli soldiers guarding one of the entrances, as can be seen in videos shared by Hamas. In the cities, the fighters followed a similar strategy. First, they attacked military or police posts that were completely unprepared, and then they advanced through the streets, seeking civilians who, in many cases, ended up being taken to Gaza as hostages. By the time Israel could react, hundreds of people were already kidnapped in the basements of Gaza. Deif, originally born as Mohammed Masri in 1965 in the Khan Yunis refugee camp, established after the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, adopted the name Mohammed Deif after joining Hamas during the First Intifada, which began in 1987. As he rose through the ranks of Hamas, Deif specialized in developing the group's tunnel network and manufacturing bombs. He was arrested by Israel in 1989 and spent around 16 months in prison, according to a source within the terrorist group. Deif graduated in sciences from the Islamic University of Gaza, where he studied physics, chemistry, and biology. He showed an interest in the arts and led the university's entertainment committee, even performing in comedies. However, his record is marked by his involvement in terrorist activities. This jihadist leader topped Israel's most wanted fugitive list for decades and was personally responsible for the deaths of numerous Israelis in suicide bombings. For Deif, staying in the shadows has been a matter of life or death. Hamas sources have reported that he lost an eye and suffered serious leg injuries in one of the assassination attempts planned by Israel. His ability to survive while leading Hamas's armed wing earned him the status of a popular Palestinian hero. In videos, he is rarely shown without a mask, or only his silhouette is visible. He avoids using smartphones and satellite technology, and virtually has no contact with digital devices to avoid detection. The attack carried out by Hamas in Israel was a devastating act that left a profound impact on the entire world. This attack surprised Israel and the rest of the international community, as it challenged the belief in the formidable capabilities of its army and intelligence services. During the assault, Hamas militants and other radical Palestinian factions carried out operations in several cities in southern Israel, with the tragic death toll now exceeding 1,000 on both sides, with hundreds of innocent lives, Palestinians and Israelis, being lost with each passing day. Even a week after the onset of the attack, Israeli forces had not fully secured the territory. This video provides a detailed look at the strategy behind Hamas's operation, highlighting how Israeli communications were disabled, rockets were used as cover for militants' infiltration into Israeli territory, and the border barrier was penetrated. It also underscores the skill and cunning of Mohammed Deif, a key leader of Hamas, who has topped Israel's most wanted list for decades. It is essential to strongly condemn the attack carried out by Hamas in Israel. Indiscriminate attacks on civilians and military operations involving infiltrations and kidnappings are unacceptable actions that cause unnecessary suffering and perpetuate an endless cycle of violence in the region. It is crucial that all involved parties seek a peaceful solution to conflicts and work together to achieve stability and peace in the region. Violence only leads to more suffering and does not offer a sustainable solution to the problems. The international community must promote dialogue and cooperation as the path to conflict resolution and the building of a better future for all. We hope that this immersion in this recent history has been a fascinating and enlightening experience for all of you. If you wish to continue exploring the mysteries and intrigues of other historical moments, We encourage you to stay connected to our channel and subscribe to not miss future episodes. We leave you with a video about a little-known story, a Nazi agent who betrayed his country to become a secret spy for the Soviet Union. We sincerely appreciate your company on this journey and remind you that through understanding and reflection, we can forge a future where humanity chooses the path of truth and wisdom over darkness and secrecy.